The Plaza's grand ballroom glittered with New York's elite as I nursed my sparkling water, watching my father's 65th birthday celebration unfold. My deliberately basic blazer concealed its Brunello Cucinelli origins, helping maintain the struggling entrepreneur image my family had crafted for me. "Still playing business with your little startup, Rachel?" My sister Katherine smirked, her diamond bracelet catching the light. "Though I suppose someone has to be the family's cautionary tale." If she only knew that her prestigious consulting firm was now secretly owned by my company, Artemis Ventures. While they mocked my small tech business, I'd built a $17 billion empire in complete silence. My phone lit up with a message. "Merger documents finalized. Williams & Co. acquisition complete. Announcement scheduled for 9 p.m. I glanced at the ornate clock. 8:15 p.m. In 45 minutes, my family would discover that their delusional daughter had just acquired their company. "Rachel," my brother Michael's voice carried across the room. "At least try to network properly. Though I suppose with your, what do you call it, tech thing." The irony was delicious. His investment banking division now processed all its trades through my platforms. Every genius move he bragged about came from my algorithms. "Just observing," I replied softly, watching him preen in his bespoke suit, paid for with profits from my technology. My father held court at the center table, undoubtedly sharing another story about how his real children had upheld the Williams legacy while his youngest had wandered off into entrepreneurship. "Ms. Williams," my chief strategy officer approached, disguised as a server. "Everything's prepared. The merger announcement is ready." I checked my watch. 8:30 p.m. Time for some truth. The ballroom's massive screens, installed at my father's insistence to display stock tickers, would soon serve a different purpose. Williams & Co.'s stock price scrolled past, still riding high. In 30 minutes, those same screens would announce its new owner. "There's my dreamer daughter," my mother sighed. "Rachel, darling, couldn't you have at least worn the suit I sent? The Goldman Sachs partners are here." "I'm fine as I am, mother," I replied, taking my usual spot at the edge of family photos. The same position I'd occupied since refusing to join the family firm. 8:55 p.m. The champagne flowed as the MC called for attention. "Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screens for a special market announcement." My father raised his glass, expecting another celebration of Williams & Co.'s success. Instead, the breaking news banner flashed. "Breaking. Artemis Ventures acquires Williams & Co. Rachel Williams revealed as Artemis C. Wall Street stunned by $17 billion merger." The champagne glass froze halfway to my father's lips as realization dawned. In that moment, years of mockery and dismissal crystallized into dawning horror. "Dad," I said, finally stepping into the spotlight, "I believe we need to discuss the new direction of Williams & Company." The screens continued their relentless display of headlines as stunned silence gripped the room. "Artemis Ventures reveals decade of stealth acquisitions. Rachel Williams, from family joke to tech titan. Williams & Co. faces historic restructuring under new leadership." "This can't be real," Michael stammered, his Patek Philippe suddenly feeling like a child's toy. "Artemis Ventures is the company that's been revolutionizing financial technology. They're the ones who designed your trading platform?" I finished smoothly. "The same platform that earned you Trader of the Year?" "Yes, that was me. Every brilliant trade you bragged about at Sunday dinners was powered by my algorithms, the ones you called amateur hour last Christmas. My security detail, all disguised as event staff, moved into strategic positions. The illusion of the struggling entrepreneur daughter evaporated as my true power became evident. For those just joining this revelation, I addressed the room, my voice carrying the quiet authority of someone who commanded billions. "I'm Rachel Williams, founder and CEO of Artemis Ventures. You might know us from our AI trading systems, our quantum computing breakthroughs, or perhaps," I paused, looking directly at my father, "from the fact that we now own Williams & Company." Katherine's designer clutch slipped from her fingers. "But your small office in Brooklyn is actually the entire building," I replied. "Along with most of that block and several others in Manhattan. Amazing what you can buy when everyone thinks you're failing." The screens updated with more breaking news. Artemis Ventures portfolio revealed. $17 billion empire built in secret. Wall Street giants discover they've been working for amateur all along. Rachel Williams, the tech genius they laughed at. My mother's social mask cracked slightly. But all those times you couldn't afford to join us in the Hamptons. I own the house next door, I said simply. I own most of the properties you've bragged about frequenting. Those weekends you thought I was struggling with my startup? I was orchestrating global mergers. Michael pushed forward, desperation replacing his usual condescension. The new AI trading system is mine, I confirmed. Every major innovation Williams & Co. implemented in the past 3 years came from my team. Though I should thank you all, your constant mockery made it remarkably easy to operate unnoticed. My father found his voice, though it trembled with barely contained rage. The board will never accept. They already have, I cut him off, nodding to my C, who had been posing as a sommelier. She distributed tablets showing the complete transaction details and board approvals. You see, Dad, while you were busy laughing at my little tech thing, I was building the future of finance. Every time you dismissed my ideas as juvenile, I was acquiring another piece of your empire. Every time you told me to get serious about real business, I was revolutionizing the entire industry. The business reporters who had come to cover a simple birthday party were now frantically calling their editors, realizing they were witnessing one of the biggest tech acquisitions in history. But why now? Someone called from the crowd. Why reveal everything at your father's birthday? I smiled, remembering every birthday where I'd been introduced as the daughter who hadn't found her way yet. Because, I replied, sometimes the best gifts are the ones nobody sees coming. The ballroom's atmosphere shifted as the screens displayed the next wave of announcements. Artemis Ventures announces immediate restructuring of Williams & Co. Tech giant to absorb traditional banking divisions. Wall Street dynasty ends as Williams family faces ouster. Let me be perfectly clear about what happens next, I announced, my voice carrying over the nervous whispers. Effective immediately, Williams & Co. will undergo a complete digital transformation. The old way of doing business, your way, Dad, ends tonight. My CFO began distributing new documents to the board members present. These outline the first phase of our restructuring. Most traditional banking positions will be automated by our AI systems. Michael's face went pale. You can't just eliminate. Actually, I can, I interrupted. In fact, I've already developed the AI that will replace most of your division. Remember that cute little coding project you laughed at last Thanksgiving? That was its beta test. The screens showed real-time updates of Williams & Co.'s stock soaring as investors reacted to the Artemis acquisition. My net worth had increased by $4 billion just during this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, my COO announced, removing his waiter's disguise, Ms. Williams has prepared a detailed presentation on the future of Williams & Co. under Artemis leadership. Shall we proceed? I checked my watch. 9:30 p.m. Perfect timing. After all, what's a birthday party without showing Dad exactly how his legacy will be dismantled? The color drained from my father's face as the screens shifted to display Artemis Ventures' true reach. Artemis Ventures controls. Asterisk 40% of global financial technology infrastructure. Asterisk 35% of AI trading platforms. Asterisk 25% of world's quantum computing resources. Asterisk and now 100% of Williams & Co. This is impossible, Katherine whispered. All those times you couldn't even afford proper business attire. I own 3 tech companies that design AI fashion algorithms, I replied calmly. Including the one that predicted your innovative consulting strategies. The ones you charged clients millions for. My brother, desperate to salvage something, pulled out his phone. The senior partners won't stand for. The senior partners, I interrupted, have already been replaced by my AI systems. Check your email. Though I should mention, that trading algorithm you won awards for? I wrote it between being mocked at family dinners. The ballroom erupted in urgent whispers as Manhattan's elite realized the scope of my control. The daughter they dismissed as delusional actually controlled the technology that powered their entire financial world. And now, I continued, for my father's birthday gift. I nodded to my team and the screens displayed a new announcement. Williams & Co. to be rebranded as Artemis Global. Historic Williams brand to be discontinued. Rachel Williams appointed as CEO and chairwoman. My father staggered slightly. You're destroying our name. Just like you tried to destroy my dreams, I replied. Though I was more successful. Funny how that works. The daughter you laughed at now owns your legacy. The screens kept updating with ruthless efficiency, each headline more devastating than the last. Artemis AI to replace 80% of Williams & Co. executive positions. Tech startup, joke, becomes Wall Street's worst nightmare. From family laughingstock to financial titan, the Rachel Williams story. You know what's truly ironic? I addressed the room, setting down my deliberately basic handbag. Every time you laughed at my little tech hobby, I was building the system that would make your jobs obsolete. Every time you mocked my coding, I was designing the AI that would replace you. Every time you dismissed me at board meetings, I was secretly buying another piece of your world. My mother, desperately trying to maintain composure, stepped forward. Darling, surely we can discuss this as a family. Family. I laughed softly. Was it family when you told the Goldman Sachs CEO that I was going through a phase with my tech company? Or when you asked me to skip last year's charity gala because my startup stories were embarrassing? Katherine, still processing the revelation, attempted damage control. Rachel, about all those jokes. Save them for your exit interview. I cut her off. Though it will be conducted by an AI. One of those silly programs you said would never work in real business. The screens flashed new developments. Artemis launches $10 billion tech innovation fund. Rachel Williams, old banking is dead, long live AI. Former Williams & Co. executives to undergo digital literacy training. Let me share something interesting, I continued, moving to the podium my father had abandoned. While you were all laughing at my startup, I was filing patents that would revolutionize finance. While you mocked my amateur coding, I was building systems that would make traditional banking obsolete. And while you told me to get a real job, I was creating technology that would eliminate yours. My father, finding his voice, made one last attempt at control. The clients will never accept. They already have, I interrupted, nodding to the screens showing real-time client migration data. Your top 100 clients transferred to our AI platforms months ago. They just couldn't tell you because of the NDAs I had them sign. Michael, his trading empire crumbling, stammered, but the traditional methods are as obsolete as your position, I finished. By the way, that corner office you're so proud of? The AI replacing you processes more trades in an hour than you did all last year. And it doesn't need a view of Central Park. The ballroom fell silent as years of carefully hidden pain surfaced in my voice. Every laugh, every joke, every dismissive comment about my cute little startup. They all led to this moment. When the daughter you ridiculed automated your jobs out of existence. The final headlines of the evening flashed across the screens. Artemis AI systems now process 70% of global trades. Traditional banking jobs face extinction as tech takes over. Rachel Williams, who's laughing now? Standing at the podium, surveying the ruins of my family's empire, I delivered the final blow. Happy birthday, Dad. Consider this my gift, showing you exactly what happens when you laugh at the wrong daughter's dreams. 1 year later, the same Plaza ballroom hosted a very different gathering. The Williams & Co. logos had been replaced by Artemis Ventures' sleek insignia, and where stuffy bankers once networked, young tech innovators now collaborated. Ms. Williams, my AI assistant's hologram materialized. The annual performance metrics are ready for presentation. The screens that once displayed traditional stock tickers now showed Artemis's revolutionary achievements. Artemis AI achieves 400% efficiency increase over traditional banking. Former Williams & Co. revenues quintuple under tech transformation. Laughed at startup becomes world's most valuable company. My father, now working as a junior data entry clerk in one of my satellite offices, stood in the corner. Exactly where he used to make me stand during family events. Karma, it seems, has a wicked sense of humor. Ladies and gentlemen, I address the room now filled with tech visionaries rather than old money bankers. Welcome to the first Artemis Innovation Summit. Tonight we're announcing several initiatives that are particularly meaningful to me. The screens shifted to display my latest projects. Artemis launches $30 billion, Laugh Now Startup Fund. Williams Banking headquarters to become world's largest tech incubator. Rachel Williams establishes scholarship for mocked entrepreneurs. You see, I continued, success isn't about who laughs first. It's about who transforms the industry. Over the past year, Artemis Ventures has proven that by turning a joke startup into the future of finance. Cathie Dao, working as a basic code tester in my QA department, shifted uncomfortably in her seat. Her once designer wardrobe replaced by standard-issue tech company casual wear. Our new initiative will focus on finding and funding entrepreneurs who, like me, were laughed out of boardrooms. We're establishing a $30 billion fund to ensure that no innovative idea is ever again dismissed as just a phase. Michael, recently demoted to monitoring the AI that replaced him, stared at his laptop screen where his former trading algorithms now ran automatically, coded by the sister he once mocked. But tonight isn't about revenge, I smiled, watching my mother fidget with her now synthetic pearls. It's about revolution. Artemis isn't just changing how banking works. We're changing who gets to innovate. The screens displayed my latest acquisition. Artemis acquires Global Banking Consortium. Williams Banking Dynasty officially ends. Startup joke becomes banking's new reality. 1 year ago I stood in this room and revealed who really owned the future. I continued. Tonight I'm announcing who controls it. Artemis Ventures isn't just a company, it's a movement. A movement that started with a simple truth. Sometimes the best ideas come from the people you're laughing at. My father's hands trembled as he inputted data into one of my AI systems. The man who once called my startup a cute hobby, now worked for the technology he'd dismissed. To every entrepreneur who's been laughed at, I raised my glass. Welcome to the revolution. The view from the top is quite different, isn't it, Dad? The screens flashed one final headline. Rachel Williams, the billionaire who turned mockery into money. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just succeeding. It's automating away the jobs of everyone who laughed at you. And as I stood there watching my family serve as minor cogs in my tech empire, I couldn't help but think. He who laughs last has probably been coding while you were laughing.